Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I am coming back at you with another Wargaming in Miniature live stream. We do this every Wednesday. Okay, I'm looking around for some place to put my microphone because I noticed on one of my other videos I would bump the table and the sound would transfer directly into the microphone as if there's not enough insulation under the microphone, not enough padding. Now I could put the microphone off the table, or okay, I don't know where that pad is. I might have put it away. I used to have this foam miniature tray, and I would stick it under the microphone and it would help muffle the sound. Okay, I'm looking all over. I don't see it. I don't know what I did with it. I might have put it away. This foam is too hard. So I was thinking about putting some XPS foam underneath. That's too hard. Maybe. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I have some box foam that I used or had when some miniatures were delivered to me. I'm going to go ahead and put that underneath the microphone. Okay, that should help out quite a bit. So if I bump on the table, and I'll test or I'll listen to this when I edit, if I edit anything out, and that way I'll be able to see if that worked. And if it did, then I will... Oh, I wonder why those are there. Yeah, and if it worked, then I will return to using that again and again and again. Okay, I'm trying to get everything set up. I've got multiple things here that I'm going to need for my project. And what I also want to do is record from start to finish. I want to record my progress while doing this, and you guys are going to get an opportunity to see that I am... Let's see if I can move this slightly. Okay, come on, camera. Yeah, that might be good right there. I might be able to. You'll get to see, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to record the video and talk to the audience as if I was recording a video that I'm going to edit. So you're going to hear me say some things that I normally don't say on a live stream. Plus, I am away from the computer. The computer is a good 10 feet away from me. So if you chat, I won't necessarily be able to see the chat until maybe closer to when I'm closing out the video, and then I'll jump in and reply to all the chats. But during the recording of the video, I won't be able to do that. And if I need to go take a break or something like that, then I'll jump in and read the chat real quick before I resume. Okay, now some of this, before we get started, some of this is going to be waiting for things to dry. So normally when I do a video when I record a video and let's say I spray something down, I will edit out the dry time so you as an audience don't have to watch it dry. But but today, if you're watching live, you're going to have to suffer through it with me. I will try to do some good time management. So, like, I will spray something, but then I will come inside and work on something while it's drying. That's the idea. Let's grab this. Let's grab this. Okay. All right. Oh, that guy doesn't belong in there. All right. So I'm going to take a quick break before we get started. I will be back in probably 5 minutes. So just chat amongst yourselves, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm working my way back. Just so some of you might not know, I have well, you wouldn't know because I didn't know until this morning. I've got a little stomach bug that might make me go visit the bathroom a couple more times. So just bear with me if you will. I appreciate that. Okay. Do a little bit more of this. And let me take one of these. Okay. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just trying to get situated. Okay, this will work. I'll go with that instead. All right, so before we begin, I'm going to start the video. I'm going to start recording. Okay, which I'm not right now. Let's go ahead and record. All right, now I'm recording. All right, so I'm recording, so I'm going to start my video right about now. Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with another Wargaming and miniature video. In this video, we're going to continue on with my World War II project, but I'm bringing something special today. What we're going to do is we're going to make the chapel for the Lafier Bridge campaign. Okay, and the first thing I want to do is kind of go over all the things that I'm going to be using for that chapel. All right, first of all, we're going to start off with, I have a base here. This is craft plywood. I just cut it into a shape and a size that I'm going to need for the battle, right? And then the next step is I have a 60, yeah, 60 by 80 piece of plywood here, that this is going to be the floor for the church. So this is going to be the inside floor of the church. I thought about gluing it directly to the base and making this whole piece a one-piece diorama that I can move around, but I'm going to actually make it a two-piece diorama. I'm going to put a foundation on here, and then I'm going to make my chapel on this, and then this can just sit on the foundation on the cemetery base. Now this is going to be a this is a standard Flames of War medium base, and if you can see right there, it'll fit nicely inside this chapel. I could easily put two of them inside this chapel once I get it done. All right, so that's that, and then there's that. Now I also have some Woodland Scenics tombstones. These are N scale, which might be a little small for my purposes, but I compared them to my 15mm miniatures, and they look okay. They look pretty good. So I'm going to put them in the field in the second half, because the chapel will be in the first half, and then the cemetery will be on the far side. Okay. Another thing, I'm going to keep going with all the supplies that I'm using. I have some N-scale stone gray bricks. This comes in 3 sheets. This should be enough to do all the walls that go around the church and cemetery, but it also, I'm planning on using it along the foundation of the church. Okay, so I got some popsicle sticks here, and these are the 10 millimeter popsicle sticks. You can see they're probably 9.7 or something like that, I think is what they're officially called. And these are going to be walls around the outer edge of my church. I'm going to have to cut the tips off because you don't want rounded edged walls at the end, right? And these are going to be covered with the bricks and mounted onto my board. I got these 2.5 inch sticks. Just so I don't have to cut these. And these are going to be my front, where there's going to be a doorway, basically a gap. I still need to cut the tips off of these, and 3 of these, right? Because I'm going to have 3 walls, and then these 2 walls, they all have to have their tips cut off. Okay, so far so good. Now, you can see, let's not look at that just yet. You can see I've got a bunch of sprues here. These are some Napoleonic, either Warlord games, Perry or Victrix. They're basically just extra sprues. And these sprues, I'm going to cut pieces, probably about 6 pieces, and they're going to be in the corners of the what am I trying to say? They're going to be in the corners of my walls. Okay, I was concerned about that. Okay, so these guys are these sheets are not long enough, so I might actually cut these in half so that I could put a support beam in the middle. So I'll have like 1 at each side of the doorway, and then 1 in each corner, and then 1 in each side, if that makes sense. And then these will just butt directly up against them, and they will look like the sprues will look like little corner supports, or I'm not sure what they're called, columns, and we'll worry about that. Okay, I have a cardboard box here. There's a model kit inside. I'm going to take the model kit out and put it somewhere else, but I'm going to cut the cardboard box to create window frames and door frames. I have some plasticard here that I'm going to use to I'm going to put it on the inside of the door. I'm going to score it so it'll look like wood, and then when everything is painted, hopefully that'll look good. Okay, so far so good. Okay, I got a couple of different types of glue. Yeah. Okay, I got the tacky glue, and that's going to be for the paper that goes onto either the wood or the chapel, right? And then I got some clear grip to assemble the chapel and affix the walls down to the ground. Okay, so this is more for assembly, and this is more for the paper walls and the window frames, door frame. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to use dark earth for the grounds. We'll also apply some flock in various areas and maybe some tufts and bushes. But this is artboard. This artboard is going to be the walls of the church, and possibly the roof frame is going to be like the gables are going to be made from this as well. And then I'm going to use some plastic to make the actual roof out of, because I can score this and make it look like ceiling tiles. I think that's everything. If I miss something, we'll get back to it. Of course, I'm going to need a straight edge, a pen. I'm going to need a ruler, of course. Got my X-Acto knife. And then, of course, various colors to paint. Okay. So far, so good? So far, so good. All right. Now, I already went ahead and sprayed this last night. Not sure where to get started. Actually, I kind of do know where I want to get started. Okay, I know this is a straight edge because of a previous project. Yeah, I knew that was going to be straight. Perfect. So I'm going to use this as the bottom of my church, right? I'm going to need to make 4 walls. These walls, do I want the sides to be longer or narrower? Do I want the fronts to be longer or narrower? I think we're going to do the sides exactly the right length. Oh, and there's one other thing that we're going to use, and that is cardstock. I have it over in my printer. I'll go grab a sheet of cardstock. We're going to make the corners of the church using cardstock. Okay. I wonder if a black pen will show up. It does. Okay. That's good. Guess I could use a pencil, but okay. And then the sides, the front and the back, are going to be just a little bit extra. They're going to be this width extra. So they're basically longer and will overhang the sides. Okay, so we've got our front, back, left, and right. Now, how tall do I want it to be? Okay, so, and remember, this is going to go on the inside. So I'm going to lose 3 millimeters of height. Okay, my phone's buzzing. I just went over there and shut it off. There's a scale that I'm going to be using. It's not ground scale. It's not figure scale. What it is, it's eye scale. And what I mean by that is I'm going to make it look good. I care about measuring out exactly 15 millimeters and trying to figure out how tall a guy is, and is it going to look, what I'm concerned about is, does it look like it's the right size, right? Okay, but to be honest, I need to compare it with figures so I don't go too small or too big. Okay, I'm looking for a building. Hang on. There she is. Okay, that works. That's too short. I want it to be taller than that. Okay, so what we're going to do here, and if you haven't figured it out, I'm using this as a template. Remember, this floor is in there like that. Yep, I think that's good right there. Okay, hold it in place. Of course I closed it. And this should give me a pointed gable. Okay, and that's how tall the roof is going to be. And now what I'm doing is I'm just lining up this corner so it's the same height. And I'm using eyeball scale. Okay. Now what that means is I need to just take a straight edge . Okay, so I got my front, all right. Now one of these is going to have a doorway. Bear with me a second. I think that's perfect. Okay, I was planning on getting a 20 by 30 Yep, 20 by 30 square representing the doorway. On a house, this would be slightly larger than a normal doorway. Alright, now remember, that's not going to be the full height of the door, because the bottom part of that door is going to have a floor, right? And so, yeah, that's going to be good. It's going to be very good. All right. Now this is super thin. It's 0.3 millimeters. So yeah, it's super thin. Now I'm going to cut out a doorway but I want it to be just a little bit bigger. How much bigger? I want it to be big enough so that I can glue it to the inside. All right, that works. I think the figures are in the way. Okay. Now the reason why I didn't cut like a giant piece was I'm considering putting windows on the front. I am not going to put any windows on the back wall, but I am going to put windows on the sides. Now these windows can be hand drawn, but I'm not going to hand draw them. Oh, no, not there. And this is 60 by 80. Okay, good. So I can go. Using these popsicle sticks as a template slash, what do you call it? Yeah, like a template, I guess is what you would call it. on both sides. And I am using the rounded top. I don't know, it just makes it look better, I think. Makes it look more church-like. Okay. Now I considered putting, what's the word? I considered putting cellophane or clear plastic on the inside to represent okay, that works. Okay. Now I also considered rounding the top of the door. I think I am going to do that. I know I got 20mm circles. There's a 20mm circle. There we go. Okay. Okay, I think I got all those. Now, I can cut from rooftop to rooftop right there. And no, I don't like that. Hey, that doesn't look even. Yeah, that's not even. Okay, got it. Okay, that's much better. Okay, so that would be one of my two gables. Once I cut it out, I'll probably put another one. I'll probably put it right there just to use this little section. Okay, let's get started. With the light on this side, and I put this down, everything disappears. I can't see what I'm doing. Here we go. All right, now I can see what I'm doing. Now this is what they call backer board. I bought like a 4x8 sheet of this for like $5. And it's specifically used for like backing art projects or photographs, stuff like that. Actually, that might be a good piece right there. So for the gable, we'll figure it out. Okay. And the bottom of the gable doesn't necessarily have to be straight because it's going down inside the church, right? I just like to do it straight. It doesn't need to be that way. Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing about the backer board. I wonder, could this... Yeah, this. Yep, that can be one. I'll just have to cut a little bit more off the bottom of that. Okay, so before I cut that in half, I'm going to make sure I cut out the doorway and the windows. There is something I could be gluing right now and painting and waiting. So I'm gonna, after I cut this out right here, this doorway, I'm gonna go do that. That way we get things drying while I'm cutting. If that makes sense, which it should. Okay, so now I can cut this around in a circle like this. So I have to be kind of gentle when it comes to that. But before I do that, before I do any of that, I want, where's that other backboard? Here it is. I needed to make the foundation that's going to go on here, that the church is going to sit on, and I want it to be just slight. Okay, this is perfect actually. Wow, okay, that little piece right there is going to be perfect for me. I want it to be slightly larger than the church itself, so the church will sit on it and it'll be pretty obvious where the church belongs. Okay, we're going to get a little bit closer. I want it to be just maybe a couple of millimeters larger. Okay, so this will go on this. It's actually going to be like a little raised area, right? And then the church will sit on it. But since the door is going to be right there, I want there to be like a little platform. A porch, if you will. Okay. But I want it to be bigger than the doorway, obviously. Wait, what? Okay. This church is going to go on here. Okay, I cut a little extra. Okay, good. There, I'm measuring it by my eye. Like I said, no real measurements. Okay. Okay. Cutting the corners out. These are small cuts, so I don't really need my straight edge. Okay. You can hear my table squeaking. Squeak, 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 squeak. That's through. Perfect. Oh, did I get it? Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give enough room to put these walls up and just a little bit of space between the wall and the church. Not a lot, doesn't need to be a lot. Just like that. But then I'm going to take this church and I'm going to cant it just a little bit. Like that. Because that's the way it looks historically. Okay. Oh, really? some glue dried down in the nozzle. Okay, let's see what we got here. This thing might be empty. I don't think so, though. I think it's just thick. Really? Okay. Yep, there was something clogging it. This is part of the video that I would edit out from the recording. Are we there? Ah, we're there. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry for a minute before I take that out and spray. Alright, so while that's drying, let's go ahead and see what I can do about cutting this round circle. And I don't anticipate, I'm doing okay. I'm actually doing okay. I was like, I don't anticipate doing a very good job here. Okay. This is where a CNC machine would come in handy. I guess I could have cut it out square and then put the door frame over it. That's going to be rounded. And it would disguise the fact. Oh, hasn't gone all the way through yet. But I'm not going to do that. Because then the door frame would be weak. Okay, it's cut through in many locations, just not every location. Okay. There we go, we got a door. Now the reason why I didn't just cut all the way through is because I want to make this piece a gable. Right? It's going to support the removable roof. Now I thought about putting like a circular window like up here, you know, in the back, but then I thought against it. Players might think that that's a window that they can utilize to shoot out of, and I don't want them to think that. Yep, that piece is going to work fine for a gable. So inside the roof, these are going to be inside, attached to the actual roof. So when you pull the roof off, it'll be attached to these on the inside, and these would slide down inside. Okay, taking a drink. Oh wow, that was a big one. That's what she said. Kind of like, almost exactly like the way these roofs work, where you pull it off and you see you got these gables in there, and the roof fits down inside, right? That's going to be exactly the same as that. Exactamundo. Okay, that looks good. There's a door. Not that I'm going to be using it for anything. Okay. So these windows, let's do this. That looks good. Yeah, I think those are through. Okay. So guys, let me go ahead and cut all these windows out, and then I'll be right back. See, and that's the part where I would edit out all this extra cutting in the video that I'm going to make to save time. And you don't have to sit here and watch me cut all these windows out. If we don't get done by 1 o'clock, I'm going to put this off to the side and finish it later, but on camera, and add it to the recording, of course. I don't know what time it is now. This is the hardest part of the entire project, is these windows. Everything else just falls into place, straight lines. Plus, to be able to be on this table instead of my normal workbench, I have to stand, because there's a bar that goes across right down here, because this is a ping pong table. Now when I cut this, I have to be careful not to... Now I could use scissors, by the way. Scissors cuts this pretty good as well, but I gotta be careful not to bring it around and cut my fingers, you know, or whatever. I gotta be very careful. Also, I need to be careful not to break my blade and have it go, you know, flying across the room or whatever. For somebody else to go step on it. Like that. I just broke the blade. Just the tip though. It might have been time to get a new blade out anyway. Okay, once you get enough cut, you should be able to pop them out. There might be a little tearing, but that can be fixed in post. Alright, now there's going to be a little bit of fuzz in there, and that's what I was talking about. Just go in with your knife and clear it up. I find that this backer board is a lot better for building buildings than foam board. Foam board at this scale is too thick. It's probably around 6 millimeters thick. This is probably 2 millimeters. So this makes great walls. It's sturdy, and you don't have to deal with that styrofoam melting or anything like that on the inside. Okay. Must be getting close to our time because I hear the postman. Usually he comes right at when the video is over. And another thing, you could always hit this up with some watered down Elmer's or Mod Podge or something like that to give it a little extra strength as well. But I don't think you're going to need to do that. Okay, clean up just a little bit and then I'll be right back. Yeah, those are all good pieces. Okay, let's split these two. piece of cardstock. Whoa. And if that's starting to come up a little bit, that's okay. Mainly because I'm going to be putting earth tone up to the edge of this all the way around. And I can disguise that up front as well. But I am going to put some right up to the edge. Apply some pressure on that. Go with a little extra pressure. There we go. Okay, so the cardstock is going to wrap around the corners of my building. I'm going to make some thin strips. It's just to disguise the sides. One. Two. Three. And four. Okay. 4 corners. Okay, these actually might get cut down a little bit more. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to dry, let's go ahead and work on my columns. Yep, that's the one I think I'm going to use. Yep, that's the sprue I'm going to use. Okay, so let me refresh my memory. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I'm going to need 9 of them. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are obviously too long. Obviously. Okay, I'm going to see if I can do it with that. Now, these walls are just under 10 millimeters, so I can make these posts just over 10 millimeters. Right? They don't even have to be too accurate. Okay. I have no idea where that went. I should probably put a catch. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's 7. I need 2 more. I think I can get it out of this piece here. not that piece, then okay, this piece is just a little bit longer, so maybe I'll get it out of this piece. Okay, so now these are rough, and I don't want them to be rough. I want them to be fairly uniform. So now what I'm going to do is go with my X-Acto and just cut straight down, giving me a nice smooth cut. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Alright, now one reason why, well, not one reason, in addition to cutting it flat, I'm also going to put a topper, like a, okay, that's flat already, like a little capstone or whatever you want to call it, right on top of this. Do they have to be the same height? They do not. I'd like them to be the same height. But this cutting process right here, I'm getting them cut down to the size that I want. Alright, let me cut all these down to size, and I'll be right back. Whoa, that piece of plastic went somewhere. Alright, so I got the 3 sides and the 2 fronts. Okay, now I can use clippers or I could use scissors to cut this, but I've noticed that if I use clippers or scissors, what winds up happening is the wood, what's the word, splinters or becomes separated. Let's give it a shot anyway. Let's give it a shot anyway. Yeah, I can see it already. Okay, well, mainly only on the side that I cut off. Okay. The heck. Okay, that side looks okay. Okay, so I've committed to this. So we're going to go ahead and cut using the scissors. Hang on, I'm going to the front door. leave the door open. It's nice out. All right, we've only got about 30 minutes. Got one package in that I was kind of anticipating. It should be an operation, there should be a battle group book from Plastic Soldier Company. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get this finished. There it is. A lot of bubble wrap. This is Operation Overlord, right? Battle Group. Got this in hoping there would be special, I don't know, but I was hoping there would be special rules for bocage. So let's take a look. Rules for bocage fighting. Look at that, page 13. Terrain feature, the bocage on the tabletop. Rules for bocage fighting. Plus more Normandy battles. Scenarios, rules, units, points, aircraft. Fallschirmjäger battle group. And then, what is that? Battle group organization chart. Okay. And then more tables. Tablets. Yeah, 109, 190. That's pretty much all they give you. Okay, cool. I got some reading tonight. I don't know who the Smarty Stop is. This is probably candy or something. I don't even know. Yes, it is. Gummies. Probably could put a clamp on this or something. I'm afraid it's starting to bubble up, is it? It feels like it's starting to come up. And I definitely don't want that. That's not figure it out. Okay, because what I wanted to do was cut these to shape and then prime them gray before I put the paper on them. That way the paper along the top would be, any exposed wood would be gray. But I also thought I would cut it so that it would just wrap over the top and it would give a layer of bricks along the top edge as well. And I think that's what I'm actually going to do. But I still need to cut these to shape. Or to size, I should say. Now I could do just one, but then the paper won't reach the entire length, you see? And that's why I wanted to do the posts, because that would disguise the full length. Okay, this is one. Now cutting this with a saw might be a better way to do that. Speaking of which, I have a hobby saw. So we're going to try a couple with the hobby saw and see what that looks like. Now normally I would mount the saw on this and then I'd have a handle, but I don't need it. I mean, this is a minor job. I could probably just snap that. That's a much cleaner cut. Way cleaner. Okay. Okay. Okay, these are the front pieces. I can salvage these if I just cut them right. Yep. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm not going to bother salvaging. It's going to make both sides about the same. That works. Oh wow, that just popped right off. Okay. Okay, so we got the two sides for sure, and we got the front for sure. Now I just need to do the back side. Okay. I don't think it's going to reach. Okay, looks like after cutting the tips off, and even after adding a middle, I would have to really fudge it, so I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is just use an extra piece. I'll just use another one. Okay. Okay, so that's going to be one side. This is going to be, yeah, wasted. Come on. Oh, that cut through pretty good. Okay, and if I make the back side, and then with enough room for a column, okay, so that's going to be the other back side. Okay, so the back, the front width, that's a pretty big gap. Okay, and then the side, and then the side. Hopefully that works. If I have to tweak, and because with these posts, it's pretty wide. It's probably too wide, actually. I might have to reconsider. I don't like it being that wide. I only wanted it about 25 millimeters, not 40. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be way too wide. That's all right. I could get another stick. That's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just use another stick. Okay. Alright, so this be the wall on the right, because the path, I want the path to kind of go at an angle. And then the second one, yeah, right about there. Okay, that's much better. So I'm going to put F for front, S for side, and B for back. And I don't think I'm going to paint those. I can just glue the paper onto them right now, actually, and then once I'm ready, I can just glue them onto this. I do want to paint these. I do want to paint these gray. And I also want to paint this gray because I want it to look like concrete, or yeah, like a foundation. I don't want to position these on here until I get these on. And I want to prime this gray before I prime white, or paint white. I'm going to prime it gray, then I'm going to paint it white, and then I'm going to put bricks along the bottom edge. And then I'm going to glue these over the corners. Now I thought about gluing those over the corners, then priming, then putting the bricks, but then the bricks would go over the trim. So I don't think I'm going to do that. All right, guys. If you guys are watching live, I'm going to probably end the video here real soon, and then we'll resume the video. I'll record it later tonight to I'll record it later tonight. And upload it as a complete tutorial video. But before we do that, let's go ahead and put this thing together. Okay, my next step before doing any painting is assembling the four walls. I'm going to use Gorilla Glue. pressure. And the bottom, of course. let that set and dry, and then we'll get to priming and painting things. All right, I'll see you later.